Mm. Morning. Oh my God, you guys are awake. Good morning. Good morning. Let me just push this back a little bit. So, hello, guys. Hello. Hello. Ooh. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. Let me mute my thing, because I swear once people know I'm awake, the messages will not stop. So, oh my God, I gotta tell you guys something funny. So, oh, here comes my cat. Jesus Christ. Good morning, Felix. Good morning, Mr. Felix. Yeah, he's on love patrol. I'll tell you guys. Dude, don't love on the cord. He's on love patrol right now. He's like, you're awake. All right, we're doing a ClairTarot reading for an energy update right now. With this energy update, I asked the collective energy what it's going to be about. And what I got is, are you ready for what's coming? So I don't know how this weekend felt to you guys, but to me, it felt rather interesting in a weird way. So I had to just take some time to myself. I just had to take some time to myself. Now, if this weekend is a precursor for whatever it is that's coming, ooh-wee, let's just start pulling some cards. Let's pull this down a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. All right. So, yeah, I don't know exactly. I hope it's not carrying through the week. I'm not going for it, okay? I'm not having none of that mess. I'm telling y'all. I'm not having none of that mess. Did you guys have an amazing weekend? Ooh, yeah. I see all the monkey emojis. Yes, 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 yes. Not my monkeys, not my circus. That's what you got to tell yourself. Not my monkeys, not my circus. He just made it up. He's like, woman, you know the deal. You know how we do this. Why is my window not open? Did you guys see that? Why is my window not open? But yeah, so this weekend, crazy energies, crazy behaviors, crazy attempts, and seems like the crazy is going to be carrying on through the week. Hopefully not. Hopefully, with whatever information we get from this reading, we'll be able to negate all of that, because you actually have the ability to negate it if you so choose. If you so choose, okay? So one of the big themes that I picked up on this past weekend was the need to be accountable for your behavior, your actions. There was a lot of that. There was a lot of like, I'm not at fault. I'm not this. I'm not that. It's, well, no, you need to give me extra patience, extra time, extra effort. Quite a few instances of that. Not within my family, but just in general. So I was like, I'm just going to sleep on myself. Here we go. Oh, okay. We'll just take all three of these. All right. Final deck. That is crazy. It is crazy. All right. Here goes, guys. All right. So definitely lots of growth heading our way. Okay. Card number 5, growth. There's a need for us to anchor our thoughts, to anchor our desires into this earth plane. A lot of things are going to be happening where it's going to cause you to question what it is you're doing, what you're attempting to accomplish. That's okay. It's okay to question yourself. What's not okay is when you don't question yourself and you assume it's everyone else. That's not okay, because there's a high likelihood, if that's something that you do, there's a high likelihood you're actually the one causing the issue and not taking accountability for it. So right now we have to really, really recognize what type of soil we are rooting ourselves into. Are we rooting ourselves in soil that enables us to empower ourselves? Or is it the kind of soil that just enables the perpetuation of, questionable behavior, questionable logic? And really, it doesn't matter what other people's opinions of us are, but we do have to recognize our thoughts about ourselves greatly affects the type of reality we cultivate, the type of reality we co-create, okay? You're responsible for what you cultivate. If your garden is full of just caca, then, you're the one that's tending that garden. You have to take responsibility for it, okay? So card number 19, Libra, I balance. When we look at this Libra energy, one of the things that I recognize about Libras is they have a very hard time recognizing the type of circumstance that they create for themselves. Oftentimes, the questionable circumstance comes from the fact that Libra has a tendency, not all Libras, okay? I'm talking about the energy, not individuals. Libra energy has a tendency to just sit on the fence and not make a decision. In order to keep balance, all right? They don't want to skew the scales, so they kind of try and stay the middle ground, but that's a decision. When you do that, it's a form of avoidance. And what ends up happening, something else will decide for you how that event is going to go. And you're not taking full control. You're not taking full accountability for the events that's occurring. So this is a call for you to really, really make a decision, okay? Not make a decision based on what this person is going to say or what that person is going to say, how they're going to look at you, because they already have their opinion. They really do. They already have their opinions. And people, when they have negative opinions of you, regardless of whether it's fair or not, they're really just interacting with you to gather reasons to justify their opinion, okay? This is something we really, really have to accept about the way humanity at large currently functions. This is how most people function. They stick around long enough to find reasons to justify whatever it is they think or feel about you. So you no longer need to concern yourself with other people's thoughts of you. They're going to think whatever they're going to think. There's nothing you can really do to help people better understand you, because whether they understand you or not, they've already decided whether they're going to accept you or not. Okay. And you don't need their acceptance. You don't need their permission. So card number 12, Hex, be still and allow the enemy to reveal themselves. So are you ready for what's coming? I don't know what's coming, but it's seeming like it's not something good. Wow. Happy Monday. I was hoping it was going to be like a, plot twist. Like, are you ready for what's coming? And surprise, it's positive. Everything can be positive if you choose to see the positive aspects of whatever it is. So yeah, something's going to be revealed very soon. Usually if a card comes up and tells us something's going to be revealed soon, allow the enemy to reveal themselves, someone's plotting some shit. And if this is resonating with you, which it's not going to resonate with everyone, but if it's resonating with you in particular, and you're worried that someone's plotting, if you have always lived with integrity, the decision, this is freaking me out because it's like, why did I lift this? I feel like someone's going to look through the window. You evil cat. He came running. He's like, why are you touching my window? Oh, it's like weird. It's weird. Let me put it down. He's looking at me crazy, you guys. He's like, but yeah, no, if you haven't been doing anything shady, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you feel like, oh no, someone's going to reveal something. If you haven't been doing anything shady, don't worry about it. If you have been doing shady things, because it feels like that polarity is being established and further defined, one of two things is going to happen if something happens. Either you're going to see, it's going to be revealed to you who's been actively taking advantage of you. They're going to try and do something that will really inconvenience you and irritate you. Or you've been doing some shady shit and someone's finally going to call you out on it. It's going to be brought into the open. And let's be very, very real here. This is not a love and light, high vibe culture type of channel. Okay, that's not what I do here. I'm very real with you. Okay, if you're worried because you've been doing some shady ass shit, it's about to be uncovered. It's about to be uncovered, and you have to recognize this is you. This is you. Okay. This is you that's been creating enemies out of people who don't want to fight, and you're about to be reaping what you've been sowing. Don't bite the curtain, bro. This cat. I love you, cat. I love you. He's looking at me like he doesn't believe me. I don't really love you right now, for real. Right now, my love is conditional. It's contingent on you not breaking things. Here it comes. Motion. You need to start changing a few things, okay? Yeah, my cat's a jerk too. He doesn't throw things though. He just irritates you until you bite me and leave. Okay, no, don't bite me. Don't bite me. Just leave. You're just so disruptive. Motion. It's time for you to start changing a few things, okay? It's really, really time for you to start changing a few things, changing your environment. For those who someone is preparing to try and victimize you in some way, we're not victims. Okay, we're not victims. So it's time for you to just remove them. Stop associating with the people that you question. Even if you're the kind of person that's a tad on the, what do you call it? A tad. Felix, he's scratching up the couch. If you're one of the people that's a tad on the paranoid side, you're not paranoid. You're not paranoid. You just don't want to listen to your intuition. Most people who think they're paranoid about 90-95% of them are actually highly intuitive and just don't want to listen to their intuition. And if you don't want to listen to your intuition, and then you're going to be like, well, people just keep fucking me over. No, it's you. You don't want to listen to your intuition. I do that too. I used to do that too. Now I'm like, oh, you feel weird. Okay, we're cutting you off. I don't know why, but I'm listening to this. Y'all can only do this to me so many times before I'm like, no, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. So fear. Card number 11, fear. Don't allow anything from this reading to cause you to want to just ball up and hide yourself. This is all about claiming your space. You can choose to either be like this or you could choose to be like this. Whichever one, that's up to you. But you have a choice, okay? You have a choice to make. Are you going to allow someone else, something else, to victimize you? If you're not a victim and you're allowing it, are you a victim? No. No, you're not. You're not. This is something you're choosing to allow. Okay. And people are going to be like, oh, well, that's victim shaming. You're not a victim. If you feel ashamed because I'm sharing interpretations of a card, then get off the channel. This channel is not going to support your need to perpetuate your belief that you're being victimized. Fuck off the channel. If you're ready to understand why you function the way you do and begin questioning yourself and learning and growing and empowering yourself, then stay here with me. But like I said, if you need to have reasons, like these cards are going to tell you that that person's been victimizing you. You were right. You were right. No, that's not what this channel is going to do. This channel is going to be like, look, why you keep allowing that? You see that this is going on. Why do you keep allowing that? So just saying, card number 17, Leo, I will claw the shit out of you. I'm being yeah, no, you need to get your claws out. You need to get your claws out. Gone are the days where, it's like, that's not spiritual. Don't do that. You know better, so don't do that. They don't know any better. Well, they ain't going to learn any better if you don't teach them any better. Okay? If you look at the way animal kingdom works, look at how the mother kitties teach the baby kitties. I know mothers are not kitties. They're cats. Look at how they teach their offspring. Okay? Do they coddle them? No. If they're doing something wrong, the mother lets them know. The adult lets them know. And it's through the behaviors that are witnessed, the behaviors that are allowed and not allowed, that they learn how to function properly. So if someone is needing to be clawed, then they need to be clawed. Okay? We need to be done with the whole PC thing. The whole PC thing is just, it didn't fix anything. Okay? This whole needing to tiptoe around, and we don't want to hurt other people's feelings. We don't want to offend anybody. We want everyone to feel included while we exclude everybody. That's the logic right now. We want everyone to feel included, so let's exclude everybody. Okay? No. No. Card number 9, honor yourself. Much of your mask is being taken off at this point. Okay? You have a little bit of your mask left to let you feel safe as you navigate this world, but much of your identity is coming forward. Whether you want to recognize this or not, much of your identity is coming forward. So many people are going through activations, organic activations, not something that someone else is doing for them. I'm talking about you really, really developing because of all the energies that come here. How so many of the new children have been born and they're anchoring in very high frequencies. And if you're not into that subject matter and you're like, what the fuck is she talking about? Take a look at the Schumann resonance, okay? The vibratory rate of this earth plane. Earth. Schumann resonance, look it up. It keeps spiking. because so many of us are raising our frequency. There's the law of reciprocal reflection. Whatever occurs on the surface of the earth is reflected within the earth, and whatever occurs within the earth is reflected by all who exist upon the surface of the earth. So reflect and amplify, reflect and amplify. That's the cycles we're going through with this earth plane. Everyone is ascending. I don't care what you believe. I don't care what you practice. None of that matters. If you exist on this earth plane right now, you are going through some form of ascension. Varying rates, varying degrees of placement, but every single last one of us is going through this. So it's becoming harder and harder for us to hide who we truly are. You can probably fool yourself. If you don't want to see who you actually are and how you behave, it's very easy to be in denial, to refuse to acknowledge and take accountability. But I promise you, there are at least 5 people in your life right now who see exactly who you are. And maybe they're not saying anything. Maybe they're calling you out on it. Who knows? But you're the only one fooling yourself at this point. Okay? You're the only one fooling yourself at this point. And I don't know, maybe it's because it's super early, but I really have no pity. Like, there's nothing to pity. This is an organic process of learning and growing. And if you want to feel badly for yourself for a period, that's perfectly fine. You can do that. You can definitely take a moment and question who you are, and maybe even accuse yourself of being a horrible person if you want, but then you pick yourself up after that. You sit down, you have yourself your good cry at the bottom of that hole, and then when you're done, pick yourself up, stand up, and recognize that hole is not that deep. It is not that deep. When you stand up, you can pull yourself out of that hole rather easily, okay? This is about really being honest with you. A lot of the things that we struggle through, we struggle because of the filters that we use to analyze the events. If you're going to continue to use a filter that's no longer, the right, I don't know, prescription lens, you're not going to see with clarity. Okay. And then you can't go and blame everyone else if you don't want to change the filters that you use. See how that works? And it's not that you're worse than anyone. It's that you don't see as clearly, and that's perfectly fine, but I'm not going to sit there and blind myself just because you choose not to get the right glasses. No one has to blind themselves in order to make you feel better. That's just not how creation works. Some people can choose to do that, but I'll tell you, if you're one of the people that choose to do that because you love them, that's not love. It's not. That's not love. That's enabling. True love will hold you accountable for your actions and remain there as you need them. You know, not need, but like they'll support you in your growth. Okay. I hope that makes sense. They'll support you in your growth. And sometimes the most supportive thing someone can do is remove themselves from your presence. If their presence continues to enable very disharmonic, unbalanced behaviors, the most loving thing to do is leave. Bottom line. Bottom line. It doesn't help anyone. If your presence continues addictive behaviors, if your presence empowers the victim mentality, what are you doing then? That's not love. That's not love. Okay? So, moderation. I'm being told this card has a lot to do with people's misperception about saving others, this Messiah complex. You're not here to save others. If you're around someone else because you're going to be the one to save them, this is what you believe, you're going to save them, that they need you. It's just they can't see, they can't understand that you're here to save them. I think you have a major issue that you have to resolve within yourself. I think you are projecting upon someone else that need to save yourself. And so you've assigned them the role of you're going to save them. Instead of addressing your own needs, you're putting it on someone else. And again, this is not about pointing out how you're failing. This is about helping you to recognize specific behavioral patterns that you might need to recalibrate. Okay? You're not broken. None of us are. Yes, all of us are wounded, but those wounds are the places where, when we allow it, those are the areas we will be fortified. Okay? If your heart continues to be broken, is it someone else breaking your heart, or do you continue to choose the same type of energy, same type of individuals who perpetuate the patterns that continue to wound you? And if so, why is that? Is it because there's a part of you that is really, really wanting and needing that fortification, and you just don't realize it? And this whole concept of, if you're wounded, then you're somehow inferior. Whoever's causing you to believe that, whether they're verbalizing it, like someone verbalized it to me once, those are the people who are being used to try and trigger a reclamation of your sovereign power. Okay? I have very, very many wounds. And those are the wounds that fortify me, that allow more of my light and my truth to escape my clutches of fear that, oh, people might see that I'm different. Yeah, I've never been normal. That's fine. I'm not here to be normal. And the fact that I have wounds is proof that I am being trained by life to be a freaking badass healer. The most heavily wounded, after they've taken time to heal themselves, usually end up being the most powerful healers. Let that sink in. Really let that sink in. So when people are pointing out how broken and wounded you are, despite their intention to tear you down, really all they've done is confirm that they recognize you are being prepared, primed to enter a phase of your journey at some point where you will be a very profoundly gifted healer. Okay? So just let that sink in, really. Card number 25, resistance. Are you resisting your growth? Are you resisting your growth? Is that your hand trying to hold on to something so that that uncomfortable growth won't come forward? Or is this someone else? Have you allowed someone else in your life to be that hand that really, really stifles your growth? You know, if you're allowing someone else to do this, you are allowing someone else to do this. You can say all you want, you know, well, they won't let me grow. They keep interfering with my growth. Well, why are they allowed to stick around then? Why is that? Because you won't allow them to go. Okay? This is about really holding yourself accountable for what you choose for yourself. Card number 51, Mercury retrograde, reinvention. This is a perfect time to reinvent your perception of who you are. Okay? I'm not talking about faking it till you make it. You don't have to fake shit. I'm talking about releasing the fear of allowing yourself to really see who you are. At this point, you're probably a different person than who you think you are. If you haven't given yourself enough time and space to really sit with yourself, you probably don't know who you are at this point. That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing, okay? A lot of people currently have no idea who they are. They feel very, very lost. That's a very powerful place to be. It's when you're lost, that sense of being lost, that you are opening yourself up to the possibility of rediscovering yourself. Now, if you come from this logic of you know who you are and this and that, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I don't know who you are. I don't know who I am. But what I have recognized after doing so much internal work for so long, I recognize that day by day, I become a different person. Day by day. Today, I might be a little bit more negative than I was yesterday, or a little bit more positive, or a lot more positive. But every day I'm changing. Every day I'm becoming a different version of myself, degree by degree. And then after a few weeks, I look back and I'm like, oh, I'm different. But you don't notice that degree by degree until some time has passed. Okay. So allow yourself to continuously evolve. Allow it. Continuously evolving. That's what we're doing. We are continuously changing and reinventing in every event, every decision, even the decision to do nothing changes who we are. And so if you look at it that way, every person that you come across, every circumstance is nothing more than a tool, a way for your higher self to help modify, to help shift you just a little bit better into whatever place or function you came into this life to have. No one else is doing this, just you. So even when people try and victimize you, when people try and attempt to derail your growth, your progress, to take from you, to belittle you, all of that serves a function. All of that serves a function. Okay, if you don't understand what I'm saying, I used to go live all the time on Facebook, nonstop, always live on Facebook. The reach on Facebook, organic reach was phenomenal. And then groups of people began doing all kind of shit to try and derail me, to really, really throw me under the bus, but you know what? None of that shit matters, because guess what? I always hold myself accountable. I'm always transparent. I know who I am. I never do anything to hurt anyone else. So try as they may, they couldn't do shit. Now, their intention was negative. They wanted to shut me down. And instead of shutting me down, because I didn't want to deal with the bullshit no more, I went ahead and switched over to YouTube, which my soul had been telling me to do for so long, for a couple years. Really, this channel was started like years ago, like I think 4 years ago or something like that. And I only started doing videos, I want to say it's been almost a year now. Took me that long. So whatever their ugly intentions were, it don't fucking matter, because all they did was serve as the impetus for me to finally transition to YouTube. And I mean, really, this is where I was supposed to do videos to begin with. But there were so many unknown factors, and heaven forbid I participate in anything where I can't fully control all the factors. And as I've released that fear, because really that's rooted in fear, as I've released the fear of not being strong enough, of being misunderstood, of being misjudged, because I don't, whatever you want to say about me, I really don't give a shit. I don't give a shit at this point. Like, look, some people will like you, some people won't. La-di-da, let's do the cards. I got other things to do. And if you can really just, you know, I mean, you don't have to be like me, but if you can really just let yourself flow through your life, like, hey, you know what? Some people are going to like me. Some people aren't. None of that has anything to do with me. I'm just going to continue to live with integrity, continue to do whatever it is my soul is guiding me to do. And we're going to call it a day. Then a lot of the drama kind of just rolls off your back. It really does. But if you're going to continue to participate in it, then yeah, no, it's going to infuse. Okay. So card number 33, love the darkness. You have dark aspects within yourself. One of the things that I had to realize why all of that shit was going on Facebook. And no, I didn't run off of Facebook. This is about me recognizing I outgrew that platform, because that platform, I mean, I'm not too big for Facebook. I'm just saying that platform was never where I was supposed to stay. And so dark aspects of myself, my questioning my worth, my questioning how people will perceive me, it kept me really confined, because Facebook was a really safe space. You know, however many people would join for live streams, they had an idea of who I am, and there was no fear in it at that point. There was none. It was just like, well, people know, they be knowing who I am. That, you know, my fear was that, well, what if someone upsets me and I snap at them and people are gonna think I'm a bitch? Well, sometimes you gots to be. But that was my fear. Like, I don't want people to think I'm mean. Well, motherfucker, if you're going to come at me crooked, I'm going to straighten your ass out. And if you think that's mean, well, maybe your mindset is twisted. Let's straighten that shit out. So that's, see, I'm not scared no more. Okay. Those were the dark aspects of me. Those were the things within me that were hidden within my shadow, because my whole life that wasn't allowed. Okay. You're not allowed to talk back. You're not allowed to show certain aspects of yourself. You have to be very, very careful, cultivated in such a way that people will think highly of you, because you're a representation of other people, the people who raised you. So you need to use the proper vernacular. You have to sit properly. You have to dress properly. Your face has to be fixed properly. Proper. That's, for all my UK friends, I love it when you talk about proper. I love the way you say it. I'm just saying, I'm not being sarcastic. Proper. I love it. Like I say it again, proper. You have to be proper. I love it. But I'm not proper. I'm not. I'm not. I'm tired of playing the role of a Stepford soul. So I went and embraced my darkness, and guess what happened? I freed myself. I didn't wait for someone else to open that cage. I realized the cage door was always open. I just didn't want to get out. Have you ever seen when a wild animal is rehabilitated and then they're in that cage, that crate, and the people have the door open and they're like, okay, re-enter the wild. And then the animal is just like sitting in the cage. Like, what the fuck's going on? Yeah, that was me. And that's probably you too. Okay. The cage door is open. You have to choose to get out of the cage, or you're going to remain in the cage. And it takes a lot of courage. And courage is not what happens when you're fearless. Courage is what you do in spite of being very, very afraid. All right. So you have tremendous amounts of potential. But here we are continuing to hide our inner child. Our inner child is so ridiculously powerful. That is the us that we used to be before we were taught and programmed that it wasn't enough, that it was wrong, that it was somehow needing to be hidden. That's the us that we continue to hide away and protect. Well, you know what? That's the most powerful aspect of yourself. Excuse me. That inner child. That inner child is the most potent potentiality within you. You have to tap back into that. You have to. This whole concept of being grown up, like, you're so childish. You have to grow up. You have to act your age. You have to this and you have to that. Actually, no, I don't. I don't. And there's nothing anyone can do about it. Okay? Nothing anyone can do about it. If you want to choose to live more childlike, it's a very, very powerful place to allow yourself to visit frequently. And no one can stop you. No one. Not a single person. And the more fun you have in that area of your life, of your consciousness, the more people are going to want to join you there. I promise you this. The more people are going to want to join you there. Because really what I recognize about society, we're nothing but children trying to look and act grown up, not understanding what grown up actually even means. That's deep. That's real deep. Connection. Reconnect with yourself. Reconnect with that inner child. Allow yourself to go very, very deep into the spaces of your heart, the trenches of your heart's ocean. Dive real deep. Connect with that inner child. Connect with your shadow aspect. It's time to connect. Connect all the dots. Remember who you actually are. Okay, not the you that you try and portray yourself to be. I was very good at that for a very long time. Very, very good at that for a very, very long time. All right. So, Eight of Pentacles. This is about work, paid work. Your inner work is going to pay off. If you think that you're doing all this work and there's no progress and no one notices, why does someone have to notice the progress? The only one that needs to notice the progress from this inner work that you're doing is yourself. If you're doing the inner work so people will notice, you're not doing inner work, you're faking it. I'm sorry, did I just blurted out truth, huh? You're faking it. You're not actually doing the work. You're doing it all for show. That's not authenticity. That's manufactured authenticity, and your soul doesn't give a shit about your image. It doesn't. I promise you, it doesn't. It doesn't care. Not in that way. So if you need other people to recognize how much work and pat you on the back, and yeah, you haven't done the work. You faked it really well. And, you know, if that's something that upsets you, like, oh my God, Emmie's so unreasonably harsh. No, you just want me to sugarcoat shit. And I told you guys earlier, I don't sugarcoat. Sugar prematurely ages you. We don't do sugar here. Yeah, I don't do that processed shit. I don't do processed and refined. I just blurt shit out. I just do. The message comes through and I blurt it out. I'm not channeling shit. I'm having conversations with my higher self within my own mind, and then I'm just blurting it out. So 3 of Cups, celebration, bright happenings. There you go. You can totally choose to celebrate life. You can totally allow all your parts, all your aspects to reunify, to come back together and really just be here as a whole. You know, not just parts of yourself, the entirety of you. And if people don't understand you, that's okay. Not everyone was created equal. And what I mean by that is you weren't meant to be handled by everybody. Be a little bit more elusive and exclusive, all right? You're not meant to be some kind of vanilla, easily digested for everyone. Thank you, Yeah, that's one of the things that I recognized about my own journey. I'm not supposed to be understood by everyone, okay? I'm just not, and it's okay. Sometimes when people witness you and they don't understand you and they question you and they challenge you, it really has more to do with you just being who you are and triggering within them the need to analyze themselves, because oftentimes that's what's going on, okay? That's a powerful place to be, that hermit mode, no distractions. So 7 of Cups, all that glitters is not gold. Look beyond the clouds. Money improvements. With the money improvements, I believe that's energy. We're closing up this Mercury retrograde cycle. Your energy is going to really stabilize. Even after retrograde is done, I think for another 2 weeks after retrograde, we're still in the shadow of Mercury's path. And so we still feel some of that residual foolery. But that's fine. That's fine. Your energy is going to begin improving. You have to allow yourself to really recognize some of the things that you might have lost during retrograde needed to go. They just needed to go. Okay? And that might sound mean, but it's the truth. Not everything that you want to hold on to is healthy for you. Not everything. Oh. Wow. Okay. This is looking like your aspects. Remember that 3 of Cups? Remember, I'd like bring all your aspects. So we have King of Cups, gentle, emotional, shy. And then we have Queen of Pentacles, professional, business, domineering. And then we have Queen of Cups, soft, gentle, and motherly. This is about really, really allowing the softer sides of your masculine and feminine to rise up, to come forward, to really stand on either side of you so they can hold you up when you feel like you've had far too much with life and it's too difficult. So allow this gentleness to rise up. but also give yourself space for Queen of Pentacles, professional, business, domineering. Sometimes you got to let yourself flex a little. Okay. Sometimes you just really got to let yourself flex a little. People get so into this, like, I'm going to be authentic and I'm going to be gentle and, you know, I'm going to do this in a specific type of way when that's not always appropriate. Sometimes you got to be like, look, I could really fuck your ass up. I'm choosing not to. That's not a weakness. That's a powerful show that I could really fuck your ass up, but I'm not. So don't push it. Don't push it. Sometimes you have to have that energy where it's like, I know how powerful I am. I'm just trying to be patient with you. Don't mistake my patience for weakness or for permission to continue doing things that are trying to take something from me, take my attention, take my energy, whatever it is. Sometimes you have to give yourself permission to kind of let that happen for you, where you really just let people know. Now, are you going to be cussing everyone out? No, there's no point in that. There's no point in that. Okay? There really is no point in that. Right? Knowing the good, the bad, and the ugly all come from the same place. They do. They do. And I kind of just want to share this because I was being told to share this. So I read Tapping Into It, I Feel My Power Finally. And I'm not directing this at anyone in particular, but that I was told to read that because it started a little bit of a message. You don't need someone else to help you recognize your own power. Okay, if your power lies in, what do you call it, needing to like tell someone off in order to feel powerful, that's not necessarily power. Okay, there's other ways you can recognize this power. You can do it quietly as you sit and just contemplate your life and a recognition that to date you've survived everything, and now you're going to consciously choose to do more than survive. You're going to choose to actually thrive. Okay, things like that. So, and again, not to correct anyone, not to address anyone specifically, but that's kind of what my higher self was leading me in regards to my own quiet thoughts. And then she had me read that comment. And so, okay, I get it. I get it. All right, let's pull out animal card and then we're going to get going. A what? Sometimes my higher self be just so we're gonna pull out one of these cards and then just blah, 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 blah. Just one of these cards. So that turtle energy. Know that you're protected. You have armor. Okay. You're like the turtle. You can definitely come back into your shell or, you know, explore your world. You don't have to be afraid. You really, really don't. Allow yourself to just sit in your shell if you need to for a time. There's no right or wrong way to process your life. Sometimes you can process while continuing to, move forward. Sometimes you got to just sit there quietly and go into your shell. And if the people in your life currently cannot respect your time in your shell, then they don't respect you. Okay? They don't respect you. And so you need to decide what you're going to do about that. If you're going to have a conversation and give them the opportunity to recognize and possibly correct it so they can remain in your life, or if you're just going to walk away. And there's no clear-cut right choice. This is something you have to decide for yourself individually, okay? But that turtle energy, many of us are kind of in that turtle energy already, especially with the whole retrograde stuff, the intensity of people's behaviors, circumstance, all of that. It's caused many of us to go in our shells already. This deck is huge. Okay, one more shuffle. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, all a surprise. Let's see what we got. We are coming full circle. Card number 60. Life and creation are nothing but cycles, and we're coming full circle. We are re-entering a state of deep polarity. Card number 35. Okay, we already talked about this in a previous, I think it was the last energy update, where it was a recognition that a polarity is once again being established. Polarities need to occur because some people will be like, well, but I thought the goal of spirituality was reunification. Yeah, reunification and diversity. We're not all supposed to be the same. We're all our own unique little slice of divinity. But we're coming full circle because that deep polarity is being established once again in order to go through spiritual mitosis. This is a separation that, again, some people might be like, but wait, we're supposed to reunify. What do you mean separation? Well, because once a divide is established and you start pulling away, because that's what mitosis is. You get two poles and then you begin to pinch off and divide. It's important because it creates a space in the middle that we can choose to fill with love. And what ends up happening if we're going to continue to go through cycles of polarization for all of eternity. This is a part of our cycle, okay? If we choose to fill that void with love, not being afraid of the void, but instead consciously choosing what the void is filled with, which we have every right to do as co-creators, then we can begin to infuse all of our space with that omni-love. I'm not talking about coddling love. I'm talking about omni-love, the type of love that has the same level of potency to destroy as the level of potency to rebuild. Balance. Everything is balanced, okay? So wow, holy shit. Talk about really, really, oh, okay. This is what I was just talking about. Card number 33, desperation. Out of desperation to continue to control this earth plane, we were kind of forced into a melting pot type of circumstance where instead of allowing ourselves to be unique in our thoughts and really just allow different outlooks, different perceptions, different degrees of level of inner, under, and overstanding, we are forced to just kind of melt together and be this homogenous thing with linear thinking, having to share our cultural ideals. Well, what if your cultural ideals are different than someone else? Who's right? Who decides that? And the person that decides who's right and whose beliefs should be adopted by everyone else is attempting to dominate other people. That's a violation of sovereign free will. That's a violation of sovereignty. You see what's going on here? This whole like, and this is not to say that any gender, any lifestyle is better or more appropriate than others, but this like, we have to, because I saw an article recently where I think in California, they're going to do gender neutral toys. Why is that? Why are you forcing everyone to believe the same thing? You know, I mean, I believe in gender equality. I believe people should be able to have whatever gender they want. Got nothing to do with me. I don't need to tell you who you can and can't love, who you can and can't marry. Shit, I don't even believe in like That's a whole different topic. But that's what's going on right now. That's what's going on. It's such a desperate attempt to try and force all of us, bully all of us to participate in some things that don't really align. Dream time and awakening. So what they want is for the waking time to affect the dream time. Dream time has a tendency to be astral travel time. So it's this sense of right now in this plane of existence, it's like so many of us are being used to try and inject a different narrative into the astral plane. That's a degree of not a degree, a dimension above this third dimension. Okay, astral plane is fourth dimensional. And so it's like the perceptions, the really twisted, manipulated perceptions of this world is trying to be injected into that one. You have to embrace your alienness. You have to embrace the fact that you don't fit inside a box. You don't fit inside the box, okay? Don't allow yourself to be bullied to go in a box and bring that box home with you to a higher level of dimensional consciousness. I don't think so. And people are going to be like, well, you can't do that because it's higher level. Okay, fourth dimension is where all the parasitic shit goes. That's where we're at right now. Just a really quick thing. Fourth dimension is where all most parasitic things exist. Okay. We are anchored in the fifth dimension. People keep talking about we're so close to 5D. Bullshit. We've been in 5D for a couple of years now. We've been anchored, but whatever level of dimension you're anchored in, you experience everything beneath that. That's why there's such an uptick in people experiencing paranormal things, an uptick in parasitic latchings. Even the Vatican released a few years ago some statement of how they're at an all-time high for sanctioned exorcisms because we're 5D. Y'all, fusion and magic, card number 55. They want us to fuse with distorted magic is what it is. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't allow yourself to fuse with that shit. Be unique. Be yourself. If you don't agree with something, you don't agree with something, and that's perfectly fine. If you don't fit in, you don't fit in, and that's perfectly fine. One of the hardest lessons I had to learn in this life, and when I learned it, it set me so free, was that not only am I not supposed to fit in a box, okay, I'm not supposed to exist in a box. I kept trying to force myself to be in a box. I was never created to be in a box. There's no box on this earth that can contain someone like me. Secondly, not only was I created and brought into this life to step outside of the box, that's not enough. Myself and quite a few other souls came into this life to dismantle the whole fucking box. Fuck the box. Hashtag that. Fuck the box. Hashtag it, live it, breathe it in, let it infuse into your consciousness, and fuck that box. Be who you are. That's how you prepare for whatever it is that's coming. It's so easy to attack you when you're contained neatly in a box. What you gonna do when I'm all chaotic, not in a box, not easily, be chaotic. Be chaotic. Seriously. It's very, very difficult to fight something that's erratic and chaotic. You just don't know what the hell it's going to do. You don't know. And after a period of time, it's just not worth it. The juice is not worth the squeeze. That's why at this point, my juice is so not worth the squeeze. The amount of effort you have to go through to fuck with me, you got to really commit. You just got to really commit. It's too much effort. And so they leave me alone. Whoever they are, they leave me alone. It's just too much effort. It's not worth it. So that's how you deal with life. Allow yourself to just be who you are. If you're a mess, you're a mess. That's fine. Keep growing. Accept yourself and keep growing. All right. So you are ready. Let's do this. I got to run. If you haven't already given this channel a thumbs up, this video a thumbs up, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on your notification bell. I got to go. Bye, guys.